All right, it ended up not recording the last time, so I'm going to do this again. What up? I'm Josh Paulison. Welcome to Console Log. And what we are doing here is looking at how I animated the text. So in general, what people would do is they might use a set interval or a set timeout. I went with a different route. I've never seen this route used. I'm not going to say that it's better because I'm not sure that it is. But I found that it made certain things very convenient, and it felt like I avoided some redundant information. So when you end up going through, you'll see that text appears gradually, and this isn't set up as you might expect. There's no set timeout, there's no set interval. Actually, if we go through the letters in here, and I don't have to pause that, so we've got animation delay on each of the letters. And by default, in the container, visibility is set to hidden, and it runs an animation vn display when it shows up. Now, if we go to the vn display animation, which I believe is up, here we go. It has at 0% visibility is visible and at 100% visibility is visible. And it runs for 1 second, and it's linear and it's forwards, which means that when it hits the end of the animation, it will stay in that state. So by default, it's hidden with visibility, and then it ends up showing up because of the animation. And it doesn't show up immediately because we have animation delay on. Surprisingly, this actually works cross-browser. Why did I do it that way instead of using a set timeout? There were a few reasons. One of them is that I would just be storing all of the letters in an array in order to set the timings for them anyway. Another thing was that I wanted to make sure that all the letters existed together because otherwise I could run into some weird, annoying situations. I think I mentioned this in the last video, but if I was typing a word and it went beyond the line, then suddenly it would bounce to the next line rather than flowing in a much nicer way, rather than it starting being written down more like this rather than like this jump, which I do not like that jump. So I need to have all the letters exist. I could have made them visible over time, but a few things that this just kind of made convenient. One of them is that if I'm playing this, I can pause it, and midway through it will just, I have animation play state paused important, which ends up on everything inside of the show pony, just pausing the animations, and that includes the animation delays. So it makes it very easy rather than tracking the timeouts and all that to just go, okay. And I would probably just have one timeout that goes from letter to letter. Let's just check this and add it on. Pretty easy, in my opinion. Another thing that's nice with this setup is it's very easy to add new appearing animations. So let's look at shout here. So that's shouting. If I go over here into the styles for the visual novel module, go down, and we've got shout down here, I believe. Here we go. So visibility is visible. This is the same as in the regular appearance, but transform is set scale 2, scale 1. And this runs 0.1 seconds linear forwards as well. So it ends up having the same result that the letter appears, but I've also added an animation. And then there's also a fade example where it changes the opacity, and it's very easy to make new keyframe animations this way for anybody who's interested. So I really like this way of doing it. I'm not going to claim that it's the best way because I'm not sure that it is, but it just seemed like if I ended up doing it otherwise, I would just basically have an array of the letters stored, and then I'd be running through those elements and making them appear one by one. It seemed like it would have been redundant because essentially HTML already has an array of it, and using the just animation delay, it's kind of, I definitely wouldn't call it intuitive, but it was pretty convenient, and I really like the results of it and how easy it is to pause it, how easy it is to make it all appear at once. For my needs, it just felt like a convenient option. So again, not claiming it's the best one, but that's how I ended up having the text animate and appear in Show Pony.